or to transfer that to all sentient beings. And from here, then there's the series of questions. Is there really transfer of merits? And does it only refer to good merits, or does bad merits can be transferred to? Things like that. Merits, does it only limit to Buddhists? Or if it's non-Buddhist, does it work? So on and so forth. How does it actually transfer to a dead person? Merits transferable, so on and so forth. But so I would like to tackle this question by looking at how our master Shaolin actually preach about the merit. In fact, personally, I think transfer of merit is not, well, in terms of master's understanding, transfer of merits is not a very accurate translation. When we talk about 功德回向, maybe a better one would be dedication of merits, which is also pretty well used in the English Buddhism arena. Dedication of merit instead of transfer of merit. Transfer of merit sounds very much like the merits that we gain by ourselves can be transferred to someone else through some unknown forms. But actually, it's more of dedication of merit. It's like we talk about how we dedicate our lives to the Bodhisattva's path. It's a direction, it's a purpose, it's what we really hope to do through all our efforts. So let's look deep into this word 回向. Actually, the right word of 回 is the right hand side. 回, that is really more like return, to return, and not so much the left hand side of 回, which is more of 轮回, when we talk about cycling in, trapped in a cycle of birth and death, trapped in the sixth round, that we use this 回, where we circle. We are circling, we are cycling, we are trapped in this circle. Then we use that 回. But actually, the actual word should be return. Return towards. So, Master says 回小向大. That should be the actual meaning of 回向. From the small vehicle practice, we should return towards the great vehicle. And that's what this whole Lotus Sutra is all about. How the Buddha has used skillful means to reach the different affinity, to reach the different capacity of the sentient beings. And now, the Buddha is now opening up the skillful means to reach the core, the true teaching, and hoping that all sentient beings we can uphold this Lotus Sutra to return back to our Buddha nature that we all have and reach for this Buddhahood. That we should all return towards the great vehicle, 回小向大. Let's go deeper in that. 回 is return. And return to where? Is to return to our true suchness. And 向 is towards who? And this is a word from our master in 2015, March 15, which says that originally we have been seeking only our own benefits. That's the small vehicle. Every of our practice, every of our endeavors, many a time, it has been for our own benefits, our own career, our own family, our own blessings. But now we seek for all sentient beings. And sentient beings are where we head towards. And when we truly reached that destination, we will have completely returned back to our true suchness. And when I read this, it feels really, really touching. When we really merge with all sentient beings, in fact, the whole world, the whole universe, when our mind is large and big and open and tranquil and clear and empty, we merged completely with our true suchness. And that's the true suchness of the whole universe. We have merged completely into it. And that's returning towards that true suchness, the whole universe, back into that mother nature that we are talking about. And very closely issue when we talk about this returning the merit is the idea of merit. When we talk about 功德, again, Master preach about it in a very different way from our normal understanding of 功德. Many of the time when we talk about merit, it seems like when we do something good, we gain this merit, and this merit is something tangible that we can transfer into someone else, hoping that maybe a relative that's in illness to gain merits and then pass this merit to them. Hopefully they can recover very quickly. This is the very usual ways of understanding it. But Shangren talks about 功德 in that 功是内能自谦，德外能礼让, where the 功 is like an attainment, like 功夫, but it's not a 功夫 martial art kind of 功夫, but it's like an attainment, where we have attained something in our hearts by our practice, because we practice diligently, and so we gain the skill, we attain that mindset, that mind power, the spiritual power, the spiritual strength. That is the attainment, and this attainment, it has to be our own practice, because only when it's like, just like when we practice the skill, we practice and practice and practice, we gain the attainment. It wouldn't be someone else gaining the attainment from our own practice. It has to be personal. It's very personal. Our own practice, we will attain that skill. In the same way, virtue also comes from that compassion from the heart, opening up our hearts, and that is also very personal. Only from our own practice can we gain that attainment, that virtue. So the merits we're talking about here is really more like self-attainment, self-virtue that we have gained from our practices. And how would that be possible? How is it possible? How could it be that these merits could be passed to someone else? Of course not. Of course not. So really, this dedication of merits is more like a reminder of our direction. What is the purpose of all our efforts? Why are we trying all our best to become a better person? What is direction? What is our purpose? Where is our direction? And so that is why at the end of each of our morning class, we will have a dedication of merits. And why is it that Master chose this set of dedication of merits? Of course, there are different versions of dedication of merits, but our Master chose this set of dedication of merits for us. And when we really read into it, it's really not about transferring these merits to other person, but really reminding us where is our direction. 愿消三障诸烦恼. We vow to eliminate the 3 obstacles of enlightenment. We all know, you have heard from the Water Repentance Sutra that the 3 obstacles of enlightenment is 烦恼障, the obstacles of affliction, 业障, the obstacles from our unwholesome deeds, and 果报障, and that's obstacles from our retributions, from our karma. So these are the 3 obstacles of enlightenment because of the affliction in our mind, and so therefore the ignorance causes us to do a lot of unwholesome deeds, and that begets us a lot of bad retributions and bad circumstances. And when we are trapped in this kind of worrisome circumstances, these difficulties may meet all the matters, all the troubles in our mind, we won't be thinking about practicing, we wouldn't think about enlightening. And so these are really obstacles in our practice. When we are trapped in all these troubles of retributions, unknown to the fact that actually all these troubles are made by ourselves, and then we still continue to make all these unwholesome deeds, and this cycle continues and continues, and traps us from in this cycle, and then we cannot be out of that cycle. And so it's really an obstacle to our enlightenment. And so we hope to eliminate these 3 obstacles of enlightenment. And then we vow to gain the utmost wisdom, right, and clear. And this wisdom is Wu Xiang, is emptiness, is the openness, is 付出无所求, is giving with asking in return, is that very clear and bright wisdom that we are all be practicing. For who? Again, for all sentient beings, because we wish to walk the Bodhisattva's path. And so may all karmic obstacles be ended and removed. Is it our own karmic obstacles? No. It's may all, where this all is all sentient beings, everyone's karmic obstacles may all be ended and removed. And so therefore for lifetime after lifetime, we will uphold the Bodhisattva's path. So when we read this dedication of merit, really it's a reminder of our direction. So can we transfer our merits to others? Well, a very simple answer would be no. But well, yesterday I had a very deep contemplation because yesterday began that end of the month. Every end of the lunar month in the Jingsi abode, we will have the chanting of the Di Zhang Jing, the Earth Treasure Sutra, literally translating. And that's a sutra about Di Zhang Wang Pusa, the Bodhisattva that vowed that he will not attain Buddhahood until all sentient beings in suffering in hell could be liberated. And I read in the sutra this story that I would really like to share with everyone that gave me a lot of hints and a deep inspiration of how actually our merits sort of can transfer to someone else. And what does that mean? Well, let me share with you this story. It's on this Brahman woman. And so the story began with this Brahman woman. This woman is really sincere and pious towards the three treasures, towards Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Very sincere, pious every day, doing the practice diligently. But this Brahman woman has a mother that is completely opposite. She does not believe in the three treasures, and worse off is that she loves to eat fish. Because every day she must eat fish, and then eating the fish live, and then she feels that that's the best delicacy in the world. That's the mother. On the other hand, well, of course, then the mother someday passed away, and this daughter, this Brahman woman, was really sorrowful, and she sold all the belongings from all the treasures in her house, turned it into food, and then offered it to all the poor in the villages, in a hope to that this marriage could be is done for the mother. After all this, one day she went in front of the Buddha of that time, and then very sincerely asked the Buddha, could she know where is her mother? Where is my mother? Where is my mother? Where is she now? Because she she has been very sincere in her practices. She know about the karmic cycles, she know about Ingo, and she know that while her mother is living, she's done much bad karma, and so she's very worried. Where is her mother now? And Buddha at the time, with a voice from emptiness, spoke to the Brahman woman that I will tell you where is your mother. Now you just need to go back to your home, sit very quietly in the meditation, and then you will know where is your mother. And so the Brahman woman went back to her home, sat into meditation, and then she went to this very open space. She saw this ocean, very turbulent ocean, is boiling, and all the sentient beings they are people inside crying and then suffering in the ocean, going up and down in it. And there's also the all the demons there. If one is to climb up from oceans to pop them back into the ocean, and everyone's really suffering deeply in it. And so the Brahmin woman is really, really worried. And then come a demon head in charge of this place. This demon, Wu Du, came forward, seeing the Brahmin woman. He said that you must be a bodhisattva coming to this place. And then the Brahmin woman asked, where? Reply, this is hell. And it's only the first layer of hell. There's still much more levels to it. And then the Brahmin woman asked, is my mother here? Is my mother in this place, in this hell? The demon head replied, what's the name of your mother? And then, of course, Brahmin woman replied the mother's name. The demon thought about it, and then, oh, don't be worried, this bodhisattva. Your mother has already been up in heaven for 3 days. And why is it so? Because although the mother has done much bad deeds while she's alive, but she has a very filial daughter that has done much merit for her, and so therefore she's now up in heaven. So this is a story. And through this story, it sounds as if the daughter has transferred the merits of her good deeds to the mother. But when I hear of this sentence, that because she has a filial daughter, it struck me deep in my heart. Think about it. This merit of giving birth to a great bodhisattva is a merit to our parents. But in the same way, it could be the very opposite, that if we have done bad things, then this sin of giving birth to a devil, again, is carried by our parents. Think about it. This merit or this sin is to be carried by our parents because of what we do, because of us, the children, of what we do. If we are good, we're diligent, we become good people in this world, then our parents gain the merit because she gave birth to a great bodhisattva. On the other hand, if all the sins, all the bad things we have done, again, our parents will have to carry the sin, that because she gave birth to a devil. And all this is on us, the children. Yet the merit or the sin is carried by our parents. And all this is very understandable. It's not that up in the air kind of transferring of that merits to a person, but because this merit of our parents giving birth to, whether it's a great bodhisattva or whether it's the devil, is on us. So do we transfer merit to others? No, I think it's because others' merits sometimes depends on us. It's on us whether do we do good or not. That merit is on someone else. And this is all very understandable. When I think deep into this, I felt so, all the things I've done before, I really hope it could be removed one day. I hope not that this sin to be carried by my parents. And in the same way, I want to share with everyone that such merit is practiced and cultivated by our own. Only we can cultivate our own merits. Through our practice, we gain attainment, we gain virtue. But at the same time, this merit is also on our parents, because she has given birth, she has cared for a good person that we all hope to become. So this is my answer to this question on transferring of merits. And when we understand it in this way, then we don't have to worry about how is this transfer of marriage done, whether it's only for Buddhists or whether how does it really transfer to a dead person. These questions are not so much a question anymore. Well, it is transferred because, yeah, just like our parents carry our marriage for us. Simply like this. It's not transferred. It's simply like this. And whether it's only for Buddhists? No, of course not. We all gain our own virtues. No matter what's our belief, that virtue is gained as long as you practice your own good deeds, no matter what religion you're in. So in the same way, the marriage, the virtue, the attainment is gained by ourselves. Right, so now second question. So who are the unmanly men? This we hear in chapter 14 on the 10 different kinds of person that when our spirits, our direction is not firm enough, then there's these 10 kinds of people that Buddha suggests you should refrain from. The unmanly men are the sort of the one type of person that we should refrain from. Among the others, the politicians, the people that are in the evil thoughts, that are into evil, not so much butchers, that are into killing as a career, or women, children, these kind of people we should refrain from. But that's remind us again that this refraining from is not rejecting from. It's a very different idea. Refrain, because the main reason is because we are not there yet. Because when we are not there yet, when our heart is still wavering, then it's suggested then that we refrain from these places, this kind of environment, this kind of people tend to lead us astray. Then the politicians, the political scene, why is it in our 10 precepts? We say that we should keep away from political demonstration and so on and so forth, because if we enter into it, it very easily leads us into conflict, into the comparing between the two different political parties and so on and so forth. So we do not want to enter into such conflicts. But in this political arena, it's very easy to get into such trouble. So we refrain from it. In the same way, why we refrain from, as a male practitioner, why we should refrain to with single woman, or that we should not talk in a very private session with a woman. And it's because, again, when we enter ourselves in such a situation, it leads us to people may say untruthful, or may say about us when we are entering such a situation. And so therefore, in order to be away, to keep away from such defilements, and so therefore we should frame ourselves from such a situation. We don't want others to speak ill, because we don't want others to make such a bad karma. In the same way, when we talk about unmanly men, it's not that we should not get close to them. It's just that we wish to refrain from them when we are not there yet. And let's not go too much into this, because in the same way, Master actually speak very lightly about this. Just 4 days ago, on 25th July, when Master came back and then did a review of the chapter 14, she actually only spoke these words on the PPT on the unmanly men. The seventh is the unmanly men that we should refrain from, and we should really be cautious in this. And then the eighth is no. She just almost skip this whole part on unmanly men, unmanly people. And even when before, about 2 months ago, when she actually, in the chapter 14, the sutra, when she talked about the unmanly people, she almost also very, very quickly just go through this part. And I understand why, because in this era, it's not suitable that we are discussing about this issue. It causes a lot of conflicts. It causes a lot of afflictions, a lot of attachments. That, when we talk, it seems as when we talk about this, people get into that very big conflicts, that this is equality. This is so on and so forth. But there's no need to get into such a discussion, and there's no need to get into this conflict, because really because we all know that Buddha does not make such inequality. So, but it is only because at that time, because of sentient beings that are not firm yet, and so therefore Buddha makes such a sentence that we should refrain from. But if we are there yet, we are there already when our minds mature, then of course there's no need for such a refrainment. And of course, Master spoke of the unmanly man in a very different way also. Of course, outside the definition of the 5 kinds of unmanly men is what you might have shared on the WhatsApp group. That's I did a little research, and yes, the major, a few of the major venerables describe the unmanly man in that way, talking about the. So, master, since we're learning from the master, let's learn in this way. Master depict this unmanly man in this way, where we talk about this lacking in the aspiration and virtue of a saint. I translated 丈夫, well, literally it's husband, but then here, 大丈夫, it means a saint. And so it's really not about gender that we are talking about here, but is lacking in the aspiration virtue of a saint. And you can see how differently, because like when we look at our master, it's that all her posture, all her disposition, it's in a way that's she's very sure about what she's doing, and all her gestures, when we look at her, it's like a mirror to us. It feels as if all our gestures are all very small, very timid, very, it's like we're scared of something, we are not bright and open. We are sometimes worried about we have our worries in our mind, we are worried about what we are doing, and that is not the aspiration and virtue of a saint. Master never worried about her actions. And that is the kind of 大丈夫相, the kind of, a saint, how her disposition. And people that are lacking in such very timid, always talking bad behind people, this is people lacking in such aspiration virtue. And such person we should not learn from this kind of habit. And so therefore, we should be wary, we should be cautious. We should not get close association with such person of unwholesome mindset, because it will disturb our own bodily will. We get too deep into these people, we should learn from the right person, the right direction, and not from the bad habits. And so therefore, this is how Master described this in a sutra called unmanly man, but actually the better translation, it should be lacking in the aspiration and virtue of a saint, such a person that we should refrain from. Of course, since we're on this topic of the unmanly man, I also want to share a little of my own, just my 2 cents worth. So the small words on top of caution is only my 2 cents worth. And then when we talk about person of a different likings, actually, well, why is it that we should not go too much into this? Because as a practitioner, as we walk in this Buddhist practicing, we all know that we should learn to open out our small love to the great love. Even between different gender, we are already practicing to reduce our small love and to generate that great love for everyone. So whether it's for men or for women, or is it for same gender or different gender, it's all the same. We are all practicing to reduce that attachment, to someone. And so therefore, one of our venerable master actually shared a phrase I like very much. We should love everyone. Don't love only a specific someone. And whether that specific someone is the same gender or different gender, it doesn't really matter. Reduce that attachment, love everyone. And in this way, really, no matter what's our inclination now, just practice towards great love. And and then we'll all become, we'll all return back to that Buddha nature that has no gender, that has no difference, that does not differentiate between people. That we are all the same when we look at the Buddha nature of everyone. We are all the same. There's no caste system, there's no differences, there's no up and down, it's all the same. Then do we need to travel into inequality and all those? No need, because the Buddha teaches the biggest equality. That is the Buddha nature that we all have. Okay, so that's my answer to this issue on Mani Man. Also kind of like a review. Now, back to the sutra that we are now into it. Yes, very excitingly, we're into chapter 15, emerging from the earth. And we are now at the very beginning of this chapter, only 4 days into it. So, all brothers and sisters, if you are only, if you just this code, let's quickly hold on, and then we could enter this chapter 15, emerging from the earth. So very quickly, let me quickly review on what up to now the sutra, what he has talked about. So at the very start, this group of bodhisattvas, very big and very great in number, they describe in the metaphor the greater in number than sands of 8 Ganges. No. This is a description, a metaphor that we use very often. The Ganges River is a very, very long river in India. And of course, the sands in it is, well, countless. Yeah, and when it's greater in number than the sands of 8 Ganges, it just means countless by the 8 times, many, right? Of course, from here we know it's a metaphor. Yeah, it's like 无量无数. It's like a metaphor. Yeah, bodhisattvas, such a number, mahasattvas. Mahasattvas are maha is great, so it's like great bodhisattvas. 2 words combined together become mahasattvas. Means great bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas and great bodhisattvas, the mahasattvas. So bodhisattvas and mahasattvas all gathered, and these are bodhisattvas and mahasattvas from lands of the other directions, simply put, from the other lands. What is these other lands? You can understand it in very different ways, whether it's different countries, from a different universe, from a different realm. It's all okay. Whatever that works, it's all okay. But from some other lands now have gathered. And when have they gathered? They have actually gathered quite a while ago. In chapter 14, these bodhisattvas Manasavati have came together with the treasure, the many treasured Buddha. Remember in chapter 14? Chapter 11. Up even earlier in chapter 11, when we talk about the emergence of the treasure tower, already we have many of the Buddha's manifestations all coming back together with their bodhisattvas from all the different lands, came back to this Saha world to witness the Sakyamuni Buddha preaching the Lotus Sutra. We've heard that. And so these are the bodhisattvas from the other lands. They have already been here since chapter 11, and now they're still here. And then in this chapter 15, now they spoken. They stood up, very sincerely come together, and spoke these words. The world honored one, if you will permit us, in the age after the Buddha that has entered extinction, to diligently and earnestly protect, recite, copy, and offer alms to the sutra in the Saha world. We will preach it widely throughout this land, with a very big exclamation mark. We really wish very sincerely to the Buddha, please permit us that we will preach it widely throughout this land. And why is it so urgent, such sincerity, such aspiration from these bodhisattvas of the other land? And they want to preach in the Saha world because they have listened from chapter 11 all the way up to here. And then we know from chapter 11, we have went through chapter 12, the Devadatta, and then we have listened to chapter 13, the devotion, the asking for devotion. And then the Buddha has through these chapters has been preaching and hoping that there will be sentient beings in the crowd that will have the courage to uphold the Lotus Sutra, very eagerly, sincerely, but then you hear all the bodhisattvas, we have in chapter 13, bodhisattvas that make great vows, but they want to go to other lands to uphold this Lotus Sutra. They don't want to stay in the Sakha world. And so bodhisattvas from other lands, upon hearing this, they want to come, so they want to make this vow on our behalf to come to this Sakha world, having listened to Buddha, eagerly asking so long, and then no one wants to raise their hand to say that they are going to stay in the Sakha world, and this bodhisattva from other land cannot tahan anymore. So stood up, make a vow, please let us, if you permit us, we will come and be here. And what is Buddha's reply? Pause. Good man. There is no need for you to protect this sutra. When Buddha speak these words, Sharon, spoke this in a very in that emotion. It's not that there's no need for you. No, it's in a way like, thank you so much. Your kindness, we have received it, but thank you so much for your kind offering. But actually, we also have bodhisattvas in this world that can uphold the sutra. So there's no need for you to come all the way, all the trouble to come here in the Sakha world. And then yes, why? Because Buddha says why? Because in this Sakha world of mine, the Sakyamuni Buddha, there are also bodhisattvas and mahasattvas who are as numerous as the sense of the 60,000 Ganges. That's again, just now it was 8 Ganges, now it's 60,000 Ganges. Many times. Many, much more infinity of bodhisattvas in Sakha world itself. And each of these bodhisattvas also brings with them retinue equal to the sense of 60,000 Ganges. When I first read this word retinue, I went to check the definition. Well, retinue is almost like relative, for some people we are close with. And so this 60,000 Ganges sense of bodhisattva also bring with them another multifold of 60,000 Ganges sense of people. They are also following that. That just means a lot of people. So after the Buddha have entered into extinction, there is also these bodhisattvas and these followers that will be able to protect, read, recite what we preach this sutra. Of course, later on into the chapter, you will see how Bodhisattva Maitreya almost mouth open, and then where does all these bodhisattvas come from? As in, like, you have never heard of this bodhisattva before, and now suddenly there's all these bodhisattvas with great practices. They have great attainment. Suddenly emerged from the earth suddenly, and then they just came. Who are all these people, and where did they come from? Because for the past 40 over years, we've never seen them before. How did they just suddenly appear? We were going to read this. You're going to see this later on in the sutra. Yeah. But now, just from here, what's the meaning of all of this story, this unfolding? Well, there are actually 2 levels of understanding. And later on in the chapter, I realized because today Master also appreciate in 2 levels of understanding. And so let's begin to split our mind into 2 levels, where we need to be able to understand this metaphor in 2 ways. Okay, so now level 1, what is it? Is that we see this eagerness of the bodhisattvas from other lands coming to hoping that they are also able to uphold the sutra in the Sakha world. And Master reminds us that other people have such eagerness. How about us? If we do not pick up, others are going to. It's not that they're going to fight with us. It's just that we should remind ourselves that we should be dedicated. We should be very dedicated to. And then the second point is we need to inspire the other people, as in Bodhisattvas from the other land, making such vow and devotion is like a role model. It's being a role model, telling us that you should make vows like this, not no making vows to go to other lands. You should make vows like this to come to this Saha world. They are being a role model to us, to inspire the people in the Saha world to uphold the Lotus Sutra. Don't be scared. Don't be worried. The Buddha has teach the peaceful practices, the peaceful path. So don't be worried. The Buddha has laid the path ahead for us. Don't be worried anymore. Make the big vows like us. Although we are from other lands, we can make such vow. You can too. This is this kind of understanding. And then on the other hand, then Buddha paused the good man, this bodhisattvas, and then Buddha Master teaches us that this also has its meaning in it. Why is it that Buddha pauses these good men? Because 3 points. 3 points. And I think these three points relate very much to our own mission, to our teacher's work. First, why is it that we hope not that bodhisattvas from other lands to come? One, each bodhisattva carries responsibilities of their own land. We all have our own lands. That we are all in different countries. You're in Malaysia, in Singapore, in US, in Canada, in Indonesia. We all are in different lands. We are in Taiwan, and in our own land, we have this responsibility to help this land. So in this way, Master says, 取之于当地，用之于当地. That we have gained so much from this this land, and so we give back to this land. And so we all carry this responsibility for our own land. If they are to come, if these bodhisattvas from other lands, if they are to come, then sentient beings of their own land will miss the benefit because they will have less bodhisattvas to help them. If they are all to come to this Saha world, and so we should not have this conversation. Sentient beings of all lands need bodhisattvas to help them. So each bodhisattva from each land, we should carry the responsibility of our own lands. We must make sure that our own lands, of sentient beings in our own lands, are all purified. Second, the bodhisattvas of other lands has little affinity with this land. And so even if they are to come, it will not bring much benefit. We all learn about how important is affinity as we enter the crowd. We have heard of stories of how the Buddha also have people that he cannot change because he just doesn't have enough affinity with this person. Or in our language, we would say 爱的存款. In the same way, there's affinity with people. Some people, Buddha also does not have enough affinity, and so therefore he cannot change the person. And then it's Ananda beside that has the affinity with the person, and so therefore change the person. And so affinity is actually very important in our practice, and that's why we cultivate our blessings. We enter into the crowd because we hope to garner, we hope to gain all the good affinities, not for ourselves, but to be good friends with all people, and so therefore everyone can benefit from them, and they will be willing to listen to our words. And all this needs good affinities. And bodhisattvas from other lands have little affinity with this land, and so therefore, even if they come, it will not bring great benefit. Third, if the others, these bodhisattvas have to come, then very naturally, bodhisattvas of this land is not going to be very diligent then. Because, well, people are doing it already, so maybe I don't need to be, so it's very normal. Bodhisattvas of this land will not be as diligent, putting a sutra, and we don't want to see that. And so therefore, these 3 points, I think this is very related to, that's why when we talk about international disaster relief, we talk about overseas clinic, we talk about overseas speakers, all these are very good. And we always have the kind of eagerness. We want to go to international disaster relief. It just sounds so up there, big, and then we want to go overseas for free clinic. We want to invite overseas speakers. Actually, overseas speakers are just much better. Of course, in some specific cases where really that place really just doesn't have TD chapter yet, when we really doesn't have a TD seat over there, of course, we will need to go. Just like the Nepal's earthquake, we need to go there because there's no people, there's no TD brothers and sisters over there, and so therefore we need to go there to see. But when there's already volunteers, brothers and sisters over there in the country, then actually our master will be much more cautious and much more careful in whether we set our team to go. And so that's why Westside sometimes it feels the same because it feels a little troublesome when sometimes our own country, when we want to go to other countries for, say, like overseas free clinic or want to go to disaster relief, why is it that we need to go through the hassle of sending back the name list and the master will look through it and then really think about it, whether there's a really need to do this, what's the purpose of every trip that you go? Why is it that we need to go through all these steps, and then to really at the end to send the team to go out? Because we wouldn't want to land ourselves into these three situations. We wouldn't want that, brothers and sisters, we are going out just because we want to go out, just because we want to be, we want to have that sort of international experience. That is not what we should be aiming for. We have our own lens to help. We go out only because there's need. I think such an understanding will be more proper. And so we know our purpose, and when we are out there, putting all the resources, generating all the carbon dioxide by traveling overseas, it has to have big benefits in it. So we think deeply into all our overseas missions because there's really a need. And this chapter talks about it. So this is the sort of the level 1 understanding. Of course, some of it, of course, is my own understanding also. Level 1. Much more to talk about level 2 understanding that when we look at this this Bodhisattvas from other land, we look at it as a metaphor that is not really talking about a person from other lands coming in, and it's not really talking about a person from this Sahara world that emerged from the ground. When we don't look at it in such literal ways, we look at it in a more metaphorical way. Then let's look at this page 32 first, where in the sutra it talks about the 60,000 Ganges sands of Bodhisattvas from Sahara world that will emerge from the ground. This 60,000, the 6, is actually a metaphorical way to say the 6 consciousness, or the 6 consciousness. We know the 6 consciousness, where the previous 5 is the nose, the tongue, the mouth, the skin, the ears, eyes, 5. So the 5 different senses each have a consciousness behind. We see the things we see because we have the eyes consciousness to recognize what we see. And then back, we also have the 6 consciousness, that's Yi, the mind, the 6 consciousness that receive all these senses, the inputs from the senses, and then recognizes it. The 6th consciousness just recognizes these inputs, and then it goes to the 7th consciousness, where the 7th level of our consciousness will do the distinction, will do the judgmentations, where we decide whether this is good, this is bad, I like this, I don't like this, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, I hate this, I love this. All this differentiation is done on the 7th consciousness. And then when we like something, we plan to reach it. When we hate something, we do all the planning to get away from it. It's all on the 7th consciousness. Then there's also the 8th consciousness that we honor, the alaya consciousness, where it is like a bank, like a storage house, where everything we do from the seventh consciousness, when we thought about it, we put it into action, that plants a seed into the eighth consciousness, the Alaya consciousness. So all the things that we think about, even without putting into actions, as long as we think about it in the seventh consciousness, that we have planted a seed into the eighth consciousness, or the bad thoughts, or the bad deeds, or the good thoughts, or the good deeds. We all plant the seeds into our Alaya consciousness. And this is the Alaya consciousness. The eighth consciousness will bring it together with us to our next life, so on and so forth. And then below all this, we have the ninth consciousness, that is the actual true Buddha nature, the inner nature in all of us that we all have. We all have. It's just that it's covered up with all these different levels of consciousness above it. This is the consciousness we are talking about. And here we're talking about, if we use a metaphorical way to look at this chapter, is that in this land that is in our mind, that Saha world is our mind. In this our mind, it generates the 60,000 gain. It's the sixth consciousness is generated also. Today, Master says, every one of us has a world in our mind. And this world is for us to know this land, what kind of plant, what kind of seeds do we plant in our land. This world is for us to take care of. And so this is from a master speaking just a few days ago. We say that all Dharma is gained from our own nature. And this sixth consciousness, including 5 before and the sixth one in our mind, it brings us all afflictions. All afflictions are from the six senses. But if we could realize that inner nature, that is that ninth consciousness, the true consciousness, we will gain the utmost wisdom. Thus, spiritual practice is personal. It's personal. One cannot ask others to practice on behalf of us. And if we always rely on others to liberate ourselves, then that is not the one true vehicle of the Buddha. The one true vehicle of the Buddha is that everyone has Buddha nature. That as long as if we walk on this path, if we practice, we can all be liberated. And so we cannot rely on others, of course, to liberate for ourselves. And so in this way, that Buddha pauses the bodhisattvas from unlearned. In the same way that the practice is not by others. We cannot seek outside for others to liberate ourselves, but it's from our own consciousness that we should put our practice into. And from there, then we can emerge. The bodhisattva that has been covered deeply in the ground, and these bodhisattvas mind, this Buddha nature, this true substance that has been covered in our mind, would then break the ground and then emerge. It's in our mind. In our mind. And suddenly, when I found this picture, I felt so touched that we all have this very pure, very clean seed sprout that will definitely break the ground. This very hard attachment, affliction, this hard karma that we have carried with us so long, that one day we can all break through with the inner nature that we all already have, the seed, the breakthrough. When we carry Buddha's heart as our heart, when we carry Master's mission as our mission. Thank you. This is my sharing for today. Thank you so much. And
then Brother Yopi has been a really amazing sharing. I'm so overwhelmed. We are very grateful to listen to this great sharing. We still have around maybe 5 minutes. The floor is now we open to the floor for any question and answers. Oh yeah, Melbourne is on the online today, first time. Maybe Melbourne, you wish to share with us? Sister Yuan Lan, you there? Okay, maybe they don't have the mic.
Wait,
Oh, they have.
can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Oh yeah, we can hear you clear.
Yeah, you can hear me. Leave meeting again. Leave meeting. Hold on, we are trying to get the other computer off.
Okay, that's good.
Hello. I'm Yun Lan. I'm from Kepong Jinsi Tang, and it so happen we are here in Melbourne. So we thought it's such a good affinity that we can make it here today. Here, accordingly to the sister, they actually have a small number of doctors who doesn't know Minani or Mandarin. So accordingly, it's really good for them to have this to be introduced. So I hope by connecting them to the whole of our Xinfa Xiang group, including the morning session, yeah. So we have will help them to like install the morning session ones for 5:20 and also this one. So we hope from now on, more and more people in Melbourne are able to benefit from this connection. Really感恩 for I don't know. It was just yesterday that we thought we should come to Melbourne City Foundation. Yeah, so this is like a baby stage here. We just got them all fixed up, and we hope and pray that the city people here, the volunteers, and whoever, especially the doctors, it seems there's a group of doctors who are quite active here. So we hope that they can benefit from here. Yeah, so really happy that we can make it here.感恩, thanks for sharing.
Back to Sister Xiu Qing.
Yeah,
感恩
Qing.
感恩大菩萨，感恩Sister Yuan Lan Brother Boon Hock. Okay, so we warmly welcome our Melbourne family to our big Dharma family here. 感恩. Okay, back to Brother Yo Ping. Any?
Can you hear us? Because the other computers, the Melbourne computers, they have no camera. They have no camera, so we have to use Boon Hock's camera to this is. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Sister Caddy from Melbourne.
Hi. We hope we can join later on. Is more people can join the engaged group. All right, then.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, we look
back to you, Sister Xiu Qing.
感恩.
感恩. We are so delighted to have a growing family. We heard from, I think, US also trying to ask Perth. Maybe we have more new people coming, new families. 感恩. Brother Yo Ping, any
Nothing from here. Thank you so much, everyone. So happy to see Australia, USA, all brothers and sisters. Let's invite more families to come together. Thank you.
Okay, 感恩 everyone. Okay, so it's 8 now. Okay, let us pay our respect. Okay, 感恩 Brother Yo Ping. So many families online for sharing lots of life wisdom. Thank you. Thank you to all Pusats for your presence today. Hope that each of us could sustain the Dharma joy and take in another piece of Masters and Hualian love to our life. Let us please make 3 bows to the Buddha and Master Zhen Yan as we depart to apply these teachings in our daily lives. Let us pay our respects to our teachers of life universal truths. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Sufu who could join us today. 感恩. 感恩 everyone. Great to have all of you on board.
感恩，拜拜，拜拜。